Did Google and Yahoo just kill cold email? Cold email marketers, and frankly everyone who uses email for marketing, are freaking out over these new 2024 updates that were just released by Google and Yahoo independently. In this video, we're going to be going over what these updates mean for us cold email marketers and what we can do to prevent them. I'm going to share with you exactly what I'm implementing in my company so that I can get through these updates and keep cold emailing successfully, because it's an awesome tool that helps me schedule thousands of leads every single month for my company. All right, so here's what they announced in October of 2023. 3 different updates, and the third one is by far the most concerning. The first one centers around authentication and validation. They're going to be enforcing DKIM and DMARC records on all of the DNS records on every sender account. If domains DNS records are not set up properly, they're going to lose a lot of sender reputation and go to spam. The second thing they announced is a focus on one-click unsubscribe links. All of your marketing emails from now on are going to have a one-click unsubscribe link. They're going to be looking at the content of the email, and if it doesn't have that, it's going to go to spam and affect your sender reputation. Now, here is by far the most scary thing for us email marketers out there. This is the third thing that they announced: the new spam rate threshold. Now, this spam rate threshold is the percentage of people that you're sending an email to that complain about that email, that mark it as spam. Now, in the past, there wasn't a spam rate threshold announced, but we knew that if too many people complained that your email was spam, you would lose sender reputation and your emails would start going to spam. Now they're announcing and enforcing a new threshold, and that threshold is absurdly low. And my guess is it's going to destroy a lot of cold email marketers out there, and even a lot of regular people who use email for marketing in their business. So what is this new threshold that was announced? 0.3%. That is 3 people out of every 1,000 emails that you send that would need to hit the spam button for your sender reputation to be destroyed and your emails start going to the spam box. As one of the top experts in cold email, I do want to enforce right away that this is something rolled out by Google and Yahoo, and this is the second attack by Google on cold email in the last year. So what does this mean? It means Google does not want any part of cold email. So my call to action from you, if you don't make it any further, is stop using G Suite, stop using Gmail for your cold emails, because they've signaled that they don't want any part of it, and my guess is there's going to be more updates, and one of those, if not this one, is going to kill your outbound cold email. So my recommendation is to use Outlook. To this day, they've been okay and acknowledging of cold email, and I don't see them stopping it anytime soon. So start to transition your cold emails from G Suite to Outlook or private SMTP servers. And if you haven't already watched the video of how to get $2 per month sender accounts using Outlook and GoDaddy, please do that. It's going to be linked below in the description. Now, I want to reinforce, yes, this is very scary for cold email marketers. I'm going to show you how to get through it in just a little bit, but it's also going to be scary for several other groups. So I wanted to just mention them briefly. So most companies use email for marketing in one way or another. They use it to send out newsletters to tens of thousands of people at once. They use it to send out promotional offers, Black Friday, Cyber Monday deals, to tens of thousands, sometimes hundreds of thousands or millions of people at the same time. Those companies are also going to be at risk. For example, in my PR agency, we've got over 30 publicists whose jobs depend on being able to email different journalists and reporters and producers to try and get them to cover our clients in their news publications. In a way, that is a form of cold email, of cold pitching. And they might have a hard time doing that because they get more than a 0.3% spam complaint rate. Most people do. And we have a list of 50,000 plus people who have subscribed to our PR list, who we email regularly with newsletters, with offers. And in general, we will get more than a 0.3% complaint rate. So this is going to affect a lot of companies, even companies who are not using cold email, but just using email for regular marketing. So I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on how to get around these updates as well. I also want to mention that because that threshold is absurdly low and they haven't actually rolled it out yet, my guess is they're not going to, especially at that threshold. A lot of people nowadays use the spam button as the trash button because, yes, it moves that email to the trash, but it also doesn't let that company email you into your inbox anymore. For example, me, when I sign up for a list or I opt in for a lead magnet and I get it and I unsubscribe, but you get an email from that same company a month, 2 months later, my only option is to hit that spam button so it doesn't happen again. That's the reason that a lot of companies, a lot of people get more than a 1% complaint rate on their email campaigns. So I think this is going to have widespread effects on various regions of business. But if you watch this video and you subscribe to my channel, you're going to learn how to get around this and come out even stronger at the end. I promise. So how serious is this? Is cold email completely dead, or is this a false alarm that everybody's just freaking out about for no reason? My answer to you is this. No, it is not the end of cold email, and here's why. Google and Yahoo account for less than 30% of all business emails. So that means 70% of the emails that you send are still going to go to the inbox. So if you wanted to crank the volume up by 30% or have a 30% increase in your conversion rate and optimization of your email campaigns, you will make up the difference. Problem solved. This update is also meant to protect personal users, not business users. So I foresee them rolling this out so that you're not doing B2C lead generation and annoying regular Gmail users who aren't on G Suite and aren't paying for these services. So even if all of the Gmail and Yahoo emails that you send to do go to spam, if you watch my channel and you're subscribed, I promise you're going to learn how to increase the effectiveness of your cold email campaigns by much more than 30%. And just to clarify what this update means, it doesn't mean that if you use Gmail or use Yahoo, your emails are going to go to spam. This means if I have a list of 1,000 emails that I'm emailing and 300 of them are Gmail addresses or hosted on G Suite, and I email those people and those are complained as spam, those 30%, those 333 emails out of the 1,000, those will end up in the spam box, but the other ones will not. All right, so now I'm going to show you how to get around this update so you never get marked as spam again and this does not affect you. And if you implement what I'm about to tell you, you're actually going to come out much stronger than before this update was rolled out. So first, the obvious. Make sure your domain DNS is set up correctly. This is the easiest thing that you can do that's within your control to make sure your emails don't go to spam. So if you're not already familiar with terms like SPF and DKIM and DMARC and BIMI, you need to watch my free course on email deliverability and email setup. That's going to be linked down in the description. In this video, I don't want to get too technical with it, but I do want to share with you a tool that I use. It's free to make sure that your emails are set up correctly and to generate those records if you don't already have them. EasyDMARC.com is an amazing resource for you to check whether your records are set up correctly and generate new records if you do not have them already. All you have to do is go to EasyDMARC.com and then come into products. If you hover over that, you'll see all of the things that they have to offer. You can check DMARC records, check BIMI records, check SPF records, check DKIM records. All you have to do is type your domain and it will tell you whether it exists and if it's set up correctly. So for example, if I wanted to check a DMARC record on my domain address, let's check otterpr.com. This is my PR agency. I'm going to check it and this is the DMARC record that exists in my domain. It'll also give you warnings. So if it's not set up correctly, it will tell you here or if there's any blatant issues. Now for me, I know what these warnings mean and they're okay. I have it set up that way. If it did not find one, I could come into DMARC record generator and create a DMARC record here that I would then put into my domain DNS records. And again, if I'm saying words that are confusing you, after you're done with this video, go immediately to the email deliverability video and watch that free course. Some other really cool things that you can do with EasyDMARC, they have an email deliverability monitor. So this is something that you can sign up for to make sure that your emails are sending correctly. And this is going to be a big takeaway for companies that use email, not for cold email, but for general newsletters and offers that you're sending to your list. You need to be controlling and monitoring the deliverability of your primary domain, the domain that you're sending the majority of your emails from. This is the best way to do it. So by enrolling your domain in EasyDMARC's tool, it will give you constant feedback about your domain health, how many complaints that you get, how compliant it is, where it's all sending from. You get lots of good data points on that primary domain that you can use to make sure that it's healthy and take action if it's not. And also for companies who are using general email and you're a big company and you're worried about this, you might want to consider getting a BIMI record. That's a blue check on Gmail. It authenticates that domain with Gmail. So even if you're below that spam threshold, you'll still probably go to the inbox because BIMI trumps all. I have an entire video on how to get a BIMI record as well, also linked down in the description. It's also really cool because your entire organization gets a blue check on Gmail every time they send to another Gmail inbox. Okay, the next thing that you're going to want to do is make sure to use a one-click unsubscribe link. If you're using a major CRM like ActiveCampaign or HubSpot, chances are they will insert that automatically. They won't send emails if it does not have that one-click unsubscribe link. But if you're doing cold email, this becomes even more important. You need to have that one-click unsubscribe link, not just to prevent yourself from going to spam with these new updates, but it's actually the law. Under the CAN-SPAM Act, it needs to have a one-click unsubscribe and something honor that opt-out. If you're a cold emailer, I'm going to show you really quickly how to set up a good unsubscribe link. So we're in my Instantly account now. I'm going to come into one of these emails that are set up and warming. The warming health looks good. The first thing you're going to want to do is a custom custom tracking domain. When you insert an unsubscribe link, it will use your custom tracking domain. You should have a new one for each domain that you use, and you can build the custom tracking domain in your DNS records. Again, if I'm using complicated words, go watch that course once we're done here. So now that you've got a custom tracking domain set up, and in each email within your campaigns, you're going to want to make sure to add an unsubscribe link. So if you're using Instantly like I recommend, all you have to do is click More Rich, insert an unsubscribe link, and you can change that to opt out. I like to keep it short most of the time. It will put it down there in the email so someone can one click unsubscribe. All right, now the elephant in the room. What to do about the 0.3% spam threshold? Is there anything that we can do? Or are we helpless in the water trying to fight for our life? I'm here to tell you there's plenty to do and not to worry, because you came to the right place and you're learning from the best. Now I want to start with advice for general companies who are using email for general marketing like newsletters for offers. You want to follow best email practices. Clean your list consistently. Now Everclean actively syncs with my CRM and it cleans my list every day, or you can set it to clean every week or every month. But it's important that you actively remove unsubscribed emails and removed bounced emails from your list. This will keep your sender reputation healthy because you do not want your primary domain's emails to go to spam and to get flagged. Another really helpful tip is that if you haven't emailed your list in 6 months, 12 months, and you just go to email the entire list, a newsletter or an offer, chances are if they haven't heard from you in a while, they're going to be much more likely to report your email as spam. Hit that spam button and make sure that they never receive another email again. So my tip for you is if you're trying to reactivate a list and you're emailing people that haven't heard from you in a while, try to send them something helpful before you hit them with the newsletter or the promo. Send them a lead magnet, send them a free trial, send them a service, send them something that they actually want to receive. When you give to somebody, their mentality changes. They don't hit spam anymore. At worst, they'll delete that email or they'll unsubscribe. But if you try and help, they're probably not going to try and report you as spam. Another practice I want you to start avoiding going forward is, say someone unsubscribes from one list within your company. 6 months later, you email that person from another list, or you send a mass email to everybody. This is probably not going to work anymore. If somebody unsubscribes once, take them out and never email them again. They're gone. The next thing that you should be doing is implementing a double opt-in. What is a double opt-in? Say I come to your website and I download a lead magnet, I put in my email on my phone, and now before you email me again, I get an email confirmation right away that says, click this button to confirm subscription to that list. That's a double opt-in. I click that button, and now the email servers know that I actively subscribed to that list. I double opted in. I wanted to receive the marketing messages so that if in your next email I report it as spam, it won't count against you because you're double opted in. All right, that's general good email practice. I hope that's helpful for everybody, but now let's talk specifically about cold emailers. A lot of the people are on this channel came here to learn and to get better at cold email. And right now you're probably freaking out. You're probably thinking that your whole business is going to go under. Let me calm your nerves. It's not. This is not the first time that updates have rolled out to combat spam, combat cold email. In fact, it's happened a dozen or so times over the past 10 years, and this won't be the last time either. Fortune 500 companies like Salesforce use cold email for lead generation. Alex Hermosi and his team, cold email is a massive part of their lead generation strategy. It's not going away now. It's not going away later. All you have to do is adapt and get a little bit better. And that also means that the people who don't adapt or they do it badly are going to get left behind, and it's not going to work anymore for them, which means that it's going to work better for those of you that are watching this channel. Okay, here we go. The 3 things that you need to do to avoid spam in 2024. Now, these 3 tips are going to get progressively more complicated and theoretical, and I'm still learning as we go. So hang with me and keep an open mind. Tip number 1 is to hyper-focus on who you're actually sending emails to. The number 1 reason that people mark an email as spam is because it's not relevant to them. If you send an email to me and you try and pitch me on baby stuff and I don't have a baby, that email's going directly to spam. So the more targeted your email is to the right person with the right message, the less likely it is that they're going to mark it as spam. Too many cold emailers practice bad cold email, which means they buy these massive lists of thousands and thousands of people because it's cheap. It's cheaper to do that than to buy good data and hyper-target your leads. And then they spray and pray. They send millions of emails to unrelated people and hope that some of them will bite. This method is dead in 2024. So what I recommend that you do instead is find a good scraping tool and find a strategy to only get emails for people that are hyper-relevant. For example, if you're scraping Instagram emails, you can look for specific words in their bio that indicate that that person might be a good fit for you. If you're using a B2B database like Apollo.io, only email people from an industry that's relevant to what it is that you sell. There's also filters within Apollo and other major lead databases like ZoomInfo that have intent. In my Apollo.io, I can actually look for buying intent. I can see what people are interested in at this moment so that I can see what people are interested in right now so that I can hyper target with the thing that they're actively searching for. Remember, the more relevant and the more targeted your message is to that person, the better chance you're going to have of your cold email working. And even if it doesn't convert, they're less likely to mark it as spam. There's also other filters within Apollo that you can use, such as technologies. If your offer is related to a certain software or platform and you're using this technologies filter, it's going to be relevant to them because you know they're using that technology. They have signals available, so you can signal award or recognition, office expansion, cutting costs. And if you mention that and service them with those signals, then it's going to be more likely to be relevant and less likely to be marked as spam. Now, if all of this sounds new to you, you need to subscribe to my channel so you can learn, one, to identify your perfect customer avatar, and two, learn how to find them and find their email using scraping tools and using these databases. All of this is available totally for free in my free course that's linked below. And I also give you 8 million free emails that scrape to Instagram. So you can start there without paying out thousands of dollars per month for something like Apollo.io. You need to be in this course. It's a no-brainer. It's free. It's linked down below in the description, so jump in there. All right, let's move on to step number 2 for avoiding spam. Stop pitching in the first email. So most cold emailers do cold email totally wrong. They'll set up a sequence of 2 to 5 to 7 emails that they're sending a cold prospect who doesn't know who they are anymore. It's an unsolicited email, and they're saying, hey, I'm Jay. I specialize in this. I helped this person get that result. Can I talk to you for 15 minutes and see if it's a good fit for you? This is pretty much the format that 95% of cold emailers use. And this format will increase your likelihood of getting marked as spam because you're pitching and you're asking in the first email to somebody who doesn't know who you are and they did not solicit your offer. The worst part is that that same cold emailer will email them the same thing with reminders and bumps for 5 to 7 emails until that person eventually unsubscribes or marks it as spam. But maybe 1 or 2% will be interested, they'll be targeted, it will work, but the rest of them unsubscribe or spam. You can't do this anymore. This method is out in 2024. I'm going to show you what to do instead. Now imagine you're a YouTuber and you make YouTube content, and I'm a YouTube editor, and my pitch to you, what I'm trying to sell at the end of the day, is that I want to edit your YouTube videos. Now imagine I send you an email. It's unsolicited. I don't know who you are. It's a cold email, but that email has an edited video that I pulled from your account. I edited it and I'm sending it to you. I said, hey, I took the time to download this video and make it better. I edited it. I hope you like it. Here it is. Now you're providing actual value to that person. Imagine what you would do receiving that email. Would you mark it as spam? My guess is that you wouldn't. What you're probably going to do is watch that video that that person took the time to edit and put together and gave you actual value with. You're going to watch it and see if it's any good. And if it is any good, you're going to say, thank you. I'd love to spend some time chatting and see if we can work together. And if it's not any good, you probably say, I didn't like this and this. Thanks for trying. I appreciate the edit. But what you're not going to do is unsubscribe or hit spam because that person took the time to personalize an email to you and provide value. Now, I'm not saying that you have to take your own time to edit or provide free services to everybody that you're cold emailing, but there's a lot of easier ways to do exactly that. For example, providing lifetime access to a software. And there's a lot of places where you can buy unlimited white label access to tools like that. AppSumo is where I get all of mine. And this is something that I provide as a lead magnet to people. I have a free course. I have 8 million leads that you can download. That is free value that I'm giving you, and I will give it to you in the very first email and the second email and the third email. And then I make the ask. So that's the pivot. That's the change that I'm going to need you to make in 2024 to become successful. Spend a lot more time and spend a lot more money developing those lead magnets, developing the value, or even hiring a team of VAs to execute on something for the people that you're going to be emailing. It goes a long way, and it's going to 10, 20x the effectiveness of your campaigns and bring your spam complaints to 0. And if you've never heard of lead magnets before, or you don't have one and you don't know how to make one, I have an entire free course on how to develop lead magnets, all of the different types of lead magnets for different industries. That's going to be linked below in this video. Go watch that after you watch the technical video about setting up DNS records and all the other ones. You should just have a whole binge session on my channel. I'd be honored, and you'll learn a lot. All right, so recapping 1 and 2, you're going to find the perfect person to email, and then you're going to provide immense value to them in the first email and hopefully the second and the third. Now, the third thing you're going to do to avoid a 0.3% complaint rate is change the numbers. 3 out of 1,000 sounds really scary, but how about 30 out of 1,000? 300 out of 1,000. If you're a cold emailer, you know what warm-up is. You know what email warm-up is. It's the practice of syncing your inbox to something like Instantly, and it will send marketing emails to other email addresses, but those email addresses automatically either bring it out of the spam box, or they mark it as important, or they'll reply to about 30% of those emails. And that tells the email servers at Gmail, at Yahoo, at Outlook, that your email is important and that it is not spam. All right, now before this update, the way that most of us are doing warm up is we'll warm up progressively, 2 emails per day, 4 emails per day, 6 emails per day, all the way up to 50 emails per day warm up. So that means 50 are guaranteed not to be marked as spam. The other 50 might be marked as spam. So that goes from 3 of 1,000 to 6 in 1,000 that need to get marked as spam in order for you to lose your sender reputation. Now that's not that bad. Now what if we crank the warming emails up to 500 per day instead of 50? Because the limit to how many you can send from a G Suite email account in a single day is 2,000 emails. So theoretically, we could do 1,450 warm-up emails per day and 50 regular emails per day. Now this sounds simple enough, but right now nobody is doing it, and most of these tools don't have the capabilities of sending 1,500 warm-up emails per day per sender account, but there are some that do. This tool is called warmy.io, and we use this for a couple of inboxes that we experiment with. But under their platinum plan, this gets all the way up to 5,000 warm-up emails per day, and this is 2,000 and this is 1,000. Now yes, these prices are very expensive per inbox, but until now, there was not a good reason for any company to use a service like this because it wasn't necessary. I believe in 2024, this will be the way that email companies are fighting back against these new regulations. And I foresee that a lot of companies such as warmy.io will start implementing mass warming services. And I hope that companies like Instantly will expand their warming service to be able to do something like this. Because if we can skew the numbers in our favor, then that 0.03% complaint rate is not actually 0.03%. Now, understandably, right now, tools like warmy.io are very expensive and most people are not going to be able to afford it. But even with instantly.io, the warming limit is not 50 that everybody uses. You can go all the way up to several hundreds of warm-up emails per day. Now, I'm inside Warmy right now, and it says the daily warming limit suggested 20. I'm going to make that 200. Now, it's giving me a little warming here, but it will let me do it. I believe that this is going to be the solution to getting around these updates, and I hope that other email services will watch this video and take action because there is massive money to be made here, and this is a massive problem that we need to solve together. It's also important to remember this is not the first attack on cold email. Like I said earlier, this has happened many times in the past, and it will happen many times in the future. When Spam Assassin came along and started blacklisting domains, everybody was freaking out. And then Sender Reputation was released, and everybody started freaking out. But cold emailers persisted, technology evolved to combat it, and I believe the same thing will happen here. So all you have to do is stay on top of the new technology, stay on top of the new tactics, subscribe to my channel so that you can do that, and we're going to be just fine. The best part is we're going to be better than fine, because every time this happens, it is a filter. It is a filter where the spammy, bad cold emailers that are the reason for these updates in the first place will start to fail. And the ones who are doing a good job and providing value will succeed and be better and more effective. Now, if you're worried about these upcoming updates and you want to do your very best to stay on top of it and learn the tactics and strategies that I'm using in my business to get around these updates, you need to be subscribed. I'm running a lot of experiments right now that I hope are very fruitful and that I hope I can share with you once I know that they are effective. So subscribe to my channel, like this video so that you see more like it in your feed, and hit the bell notification so that you don't miss my new releases. This has been Lead Gen J, and I'll talk to you soon.